Now, not all of nature's forces can be simulated on a tabletop, but for even the most destructive, acting collectively may be key to a greater chance of survival than ever. The San Andreas Fault in California faces an estimated 99% chance of a major quake in the next 30 years. And the search is always on for an early warning system, which normally costs a fortune. However, a simple idea has shown that the solution may be no bigger than a mobile phone. Alex Jai reports.
Our understanding of earthquakes comes from expensive equipment buried deep underground. This bunker contains some of the most sensitive seismic equipment on the globe. If there was a magnitude 5 earthquake on the other side of the planet, this would see it. This incredible piece of kit has helped us understand the anatomy of an earthquake and revealed something amazing. When an earthquake ruptures along a fault line, 2 types of energy wave emanate from the epicenter. The first wave, the primary or P wave, travels fastest. The secondary or S wave is slower, but it's the real destructive force. Seismologist Richard Allen explains how the time lag between the 2 waves is the basis of an earthquake early warning system.
If you're about 100 kilometers from the earthquake, then the difference between the P wave and the S wave is sort of 10 to 20 seconds.
So tens of seconds, that doesn't seem like a huge amount of time.
It's not a lot of time, but you can do a lot. So, for example, you can take cover as an individual. Things like train systems can start to decelerate the trains. Airports stop planes from landing. Any kind of manufacturing facility can shut down its sensitive equipment so that everybody can get back online more quickly after an earthquake.
The problem is, even here in San Francisco, where hundreds of thousands of people live directly on the San Andreas Fault Zone, the current sensor network isn't good enough to send reliable warnings out to the public.
The challenge we have is that we have gaps in our sensor coverage, so we really need to increase the number of sensors so that we can improve the speed and the quality of the early warning system.
Building thousands more seismometer stations at about $80,000 each isn't really feasible. But luckily for Californians, a much cheaper solution might just be around the corner. Dr. Elizabeth Cochran is an LA-based geophysicist who's passionate about teaching earthquake science to her local community.
So we're going to try and demonstrate our different kinds of waves.
She's figured out a way to use a cheap $40 seismometer to transform a regular laptop into an earthquake monitoring station.
Here we have a sensor, and it's actually connected into the laptop just by USB port. Anytime I move the sensor, it sends the information into the laptop, and we can see the readout here on the screen. We're actually using these sensors to record moderate to large earthquakes here in California and actually around the world.
But Elizabeth's real breakthrough is to recruit a network of thousands of volunteers to host these sensors. All they need to do is plug them into their laptops, tape them down, and then they'll start sending vital earthquake data to a central computer for analysis. But this is so tiny. I mean, how does this compare to your professional equipment?
So this is quite a bit less sensitive, but it has some benefits. They're pretty low cost, and we can have them, say, in every block or in every house.
How does this become part of an early warning network then?
What these sensors do is they fill in between our large network sensors, and we can get more records faster and get the location and the magnitude much more accurately. Every additional piece of information we have will allow us to have longer warning times.
Already, Elizabeth's recruited over 2,000 citizen scientists. One day, she hopes to have sensor networks on every block in Los Angeles and across every fault zone in the world. But I think the real significance of what she's achieved goes beyond earthquakes. This might be small, but I think it opens up a new era in science, when research isn't confined to universities and expensive laboratories, but it's something that we can all take part in. It opens up scientific discovery to everybody.
Alec, this is a very dramatic claim to make, that we've whole new eras opening in science. I mean, how powerful is this kind of thinking?
Well, it's easy to think that something so small is just a toy that you know, we're all using, and therefore, you know, it's not of any use to scientists. But you heard there Dr. Cochrane there talking about the fact that these sensors, because they're easily available and cheap, $40 each, and you can put them in lots and lots and lots of places, it allows them to collect much more information. And actually, it's useful information. The US Geological Survey have funded her to do this. And so therefore, they're thinking this is a useful way of collecting information across large areas without having to put in those enormous $80,000 seismometers that we saw at the beginning. So it's real stuff.
Now, we're joined now by Dr. Hilary Gagan from UCL. Dr. Hilary, this is the direction we seem to be going with a lot of projects now. Crowdsourcing information, getting data points from enthusiastic amateurs who wish to join in the research.
Yeah, that's definitely true. People are passionate about science, people want to contribute, people want to feel part of science, and there are a variety of science projects that allow people to do that now.
What are the factors in terms of actually getting people to be involved in this? I mean, I know you've studied just people's enthusiasm and how that can be marshalled. You can see why people in this part of the world want to be part of an early warning system for earthquakes. So how do we get more people involved in projects which have obviously less of a tug in the heartstrings than that?
Well, in the UK, there's an initiative called OPAL, called Open Air Laboratories. That's based at Imperial College, and they're working with government scientists on a new tree health survey, which is to monitor pests and diseases in the UK. Some that are here yet, some that are not, but they want to develop a group of citizens across the country that will be able to take part and identify these pests. So it's like eyes and ears on the ground, really, that scientists just can't get that sort of geographical coverage on their own.
I mean, we contrast this with the traditional image of a scientist going out and collecting specimens themselves.
And that just takes a long time. It's deliberative. I mean, this is what Darwin did to make his great theories. But imagine if Darwin had an army of people out there that sort of could help him collect all that information. He'd have probably got to evolution by natural selection way quicker.
Yeah. Are scientists actively looking for projects that they can marshal the public support in?
Astronomers have been doing this for a while now. So Galaxy Zoo is the famous one where you have to you get lots and lots of images of what look like galaxies, and you have to decide whether they're spherical, elliptical ones, spiral ones, or so on. And our brains are much better at doing this than computers are. Hence, we can do it. And it's incredibly popular, and that's diversified into all sorts of other projects. All this stuff needs lots of effort from people, and we can all help.
Something we didn't see in the VT, there is a quake readiness. There's a general atmosphere of quake readiness goes on in that part of the world.
You would have to be quake ready in that part of the world.
You took part in a training module, as it were.
Would you call it that?
well, they put you in a room and they made a slide around. Essentially, it's footage worth seeing. Whatever. This is a quake simulator, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's people in that part of the world are trained at what to do if they feel an earthquake, get under tables and so on. But you know, you sometimes need to just feel it to really get the impact.
What quake is that simulating? What force of quake is that?
So this is simulating a magnitude 8 earthquake. You can see that there it is. It's you know, it looks less impressive when you see it.
From the outside, it doesn't look great.
But look at San Francisco Bridge on there. Yeah. No, this is simulating a magnitude 8 earthquake. And the idea is they take this around to schools and businesses and offices, show that actually buildings pretty much nowadays are good at surviving earthquakes. It's the stuff inside that gets thrown around, so you need to have all that sort of fixed. The apples and everything were falling all over the place. And I just want to point something out.
Oh, yeah?
That the guy who did that for us said that no one can stand in a magnitude 8 earthquake. I think you'll find, if you go through all the rushes, not once did I fall over in that thing. So there you go.
Very good. You are quake ready.
I am.
For that. Thank you, Alok and Dr. Hilary Gagan.